In today's video I'm breaking down The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 5, Out of the Ashes. Of course, before we begin, make sure you subscribe so that you are the first to see my videos. So this episode starts off with Aaron and Gracie running through some woods, and it was this really cool nightmare sequence where he sees all the villains, all the threats that Aaron has encountered whilst he's been on the show. He sees your typical saviour, typical whisperer, typical walker, and your typical wolf. Now, if you don't remember who the wolves were, they were basically this group of savages that carved the letter W into their head, and they were around in Season 6 purely to terrorise Alexandria and test Morgan. Aside from the walkers, this was the first threat that Aaron experienced on the show. This nightmare finishes with Gracie disappearing and Aaron being stabbed to death by all of them. It was a really cool scene. I could have done without the SoundCloud rapper zoom out transition. The meaning behind this scene is quite weird because what the show started to do is treat Aaron like the one that's not normal. When Aaron is killed in the nightmare, he hears and sees Maze, back when he made Aaron play Russian roulette with Gabriel. So that experience traumatized him, but it's weird that they're treating him like he's the one that's losing hope. All these villains around him, he's seeing the bad in everything, and he's constantly focusing on what the villains of the show have made them lose, the things he's lost. But it's weird because Gabriel was the one that went too far. He's the one that's breaking and he snapped. This episode treats Aaron like he's falling apart, but he's the only normal one. Carol reprimands him for wanting to kill this whisperer. It's good that they didn't kill the whisperer because of the information they got from him, but really, he's right in doing that. Let alone what all of the whisperers did. What this individual whisperer did just by himself was lie to Aaron and try and kill him, so it was a bit weird how they're treating Aaron like such a cold-hearted killer with anger issues. It's pretty normal to want to kill someone that does that in the apocalypse. I think all of this stuff with Aaron is just a pure distraction from Gabriel because we know he's the one that's been having these little snaps and taking things too far, but then since Season 11 started, the description of Gabriel this season has literally been he's a steady soldier now, and they've reflected it on to Aaron like he's losing hope in the world, he's paranoid. Well, he's pretty right to be after what he saw Gabriel do. I think we're just seeing the early developments of Dwight's comic death. It's a two-man thing. It wasn't just some unnamed guard that shot Dwight, it was Rick. And in the same way that Aaron is learning who to put down and who to spare, Gabriel apparently has already learned that. It's his rulebook of who dies and who lives. The tables have completely turned in regards to who's stable right now. I mean, you could easily just look at Aaron right now and say, right, he's losing control, he's gonna get it. But really, it's Gabriel because his motivation has changed. Aaron still wants to protect Gracie. He doesn't want power or revenge. In fact, in one episode, he's already overcome that by sparing a whisperer, and in doing that, we got information on Connie. Then after Aaron's bad dream, we cut to Jerry, and he's such a fucking 15-year-old, I can't handle it, I don't like Jerry anymore. Since the second half of Season 10, Jerry's had the personality of an excited chihuahua. He used to be the highlight of the episodes that he was in back in Season 7, but he's just got insufferable. Then we cut back to Yumiko, Princess, Eugene, and Ezekiel. In this scene, they find out what their jobs are at the Commonwealth, and I really like it, because it's based on what they did before the fall. Ezekiel is in animal control, Eugene is a high school teacher, Princess is in retail, and Yumiko doesn't know what she's been given yet, but she got a special letter that will likely lead to her being a lawyer. It's weird though, because at the end of this episode, Eugene suggests using Yumiko as their lawyer, but Yumiko's come from the exact same place as them, and they're getting different treatment in the first place because apparently they're asylum seekers, even though in episode 2, they were announced as citizens of the Commonwealth officially. This could just be the very thing that makes Yumiko a lawyer, having to be forced into it and having to protect herself and her friends, but it's weird they would even allow that. Then we go back to Alexandria just after the Walker attack, and what's so weird about it is, as desperate as they obviously are, that's a sensible thing to feel. They go to Hilltop to get blacksmith equipment. Rosita is already talking about just finding something else. Bearing in mind, even after she talks to Eugene for 10 seconds, she still doesn't know anything about the Commonwealth or there being any other place. So it's weird that a place she's been at for years, she's so casually talking about going to someplace else. She's so out of character this season. Everything she's done, she's casually saying all this out of character stuff that is so so unlike her. He's not just a change of character, and her developing to be someone that would say something like this is not something she would ever say. I don't care if she's got a daughter. These are lines that literally every other character should have said, but Rosita said them. It's like, Rosita's not doing anything now, let's give her these weird lines that she would never say. My dead ex-boyfriend talks to me in my sleep. Let's run away from Alexandria, the only safety we know of. Then we see Judith training some kids at Alexandria, which was an unpleasant experience. I don't know if you thought that was a good idea. I like the sentiment of it, but fuck. They noticed some other kids tormenting a kid walker, and this particular walker was played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan's son, which is cool. But this scene though, it was actually fucking abysmal. Like, I don't even want to talk about it, just fuck off of all that, honestly. The kid mentions Michonne running away and she cries, and that's all that needs to be said about it. This is the second time this season where we've seen her think about Michonne again, and this leads to a slightly better scene where she finds the handprints that her and Carl made that were put up onto the wall have been destroyed.
We all will.
The last episode we saw Herschel, and I said he didn't have such a contrived personality like a lot of kids have done in The Walking Dead. I take that back now. He couldn't handle a lion, it like that killed him. We all will, and Judith is looking at RJ and Herschel like, don't fucking lie, stop the proverbial cap. This did lead to a genuinely nice scene though, and I think that's what Judith is really good at. Whenever I've genuinely enjoyed her scenes, it's when she's sad about the characters that have left. I just thought of all of the characters in The Walking Dead that I've liked and have left. So it was sad, and I think Judith is the perfect way to bring those scenes to life. A kid looking around like everyone's gone, because they have. And again, you've got Rosita being the one to comfort Judith. She says wood is nice, but you don't need it to remember how much they loved you. And I think that's a quote that Judith will carry with her. And again, it's Rosita being the one to comfort her, the way she put her hand on Judith's hand. The show's been doing a lot to get you more sentimentally connected to Rosita. Then back at the Commonwealth, Yumiko enters the bakery. In the comics, when Michonne reunites with Elodie, it's in the bakery too, and the way this scene was done when she finally reunited with her brother, he even drops the cake exactly like this scene was done in the comics. It was a really cool adaptation. Her brother is Tommy, and straight away we find out that he's not telling anyone he's a surgeon. He's now a baker. That's a fucking fall from grace, you selfish. Tommy reveals that he's a baker because it's something that he finally enjoys in life and he's happy. And Yumiko actually says, well fine, I wouldn't ruin that. However, she inadvertently did tell the Commonwealth already that her brother was a surgeon. And I think, however ominous it was that he was hiding his true qualifications from the Commonwealth, I think it's just a situation where push is going to come to shove. Conveniently, Ezekiel has a tumour in his neck. Although it's safe to assume that the Commonwealth will have surgeons of their own, I think Tommy's secret will be revealed in saving Ezekiel. It's going to be something that he notices on him, that he's operated on before and knows how to fix, and then that's how he will then go and be a surgeon. I do hope it doesn't lead to a more somber situation where they punish him for hiding the fact, because he's not like he's really lying about it. I mean, he has essentially cheated the system slightly, because the way you even get recruited into this whole community is by telling honestly your identity and your qualifications. Hopefully he's not been watching a character like Pamela or literally anyone go through some kind of disease or illness that he knows how to fix. They find out that he knew and he just watched it and he gets fined or exiled for not being honest about it. Some would interpret what Tommy has done as selfish, and at first I did think that. But again, we have to assume that the Commonwealth has surgeons for themselves. Maybe he's right in going after his true desires in life rather than the desires of some rich woman named Pamela. It's still weird that he would ever call Yumiko Miko. As soon as I saw that little note on the Wall of the Lost, I straight away thought of little 15-year-old girl, Miko, anime. How's a surgeon named Tommy gonna jump around shouting out Teletubby nicknames? I expect their dad's name is Tinky Winky. So Carol, Jerry, Aaron and Lydia go to Hilltop in hopes to find some blacksmith equipment. The place is littered in walkers and they notice something about them. They're walking in a formation. They see a whisperer has been orchestrating this small herd. And you see more of how angry Aaron is with it. And I think that's all it is. I don't think it's him at all having this storyline now where he wants to kill everyone that's done even a bit wrong. He's just looking back at the past and being angry at all they've lost to the villains. And the whisperers took a lot from them. The Whisperers too were obviously the catalyst of the fall of Alexandria. It's at that state that it is right now because of what the Whisperers did.
Name.
Keith.
I do like Aaron and Jerry together, because the thing is, Jerry's got Nabila and 2 kids. Aaron's got Gracie. They've both got families now, so you can understand why they would be leaning towards killing Keith. They take Keith down into the cellar and they find more Whisperers. Obviously his friends or his family, so he's already lied once. Then he pulls a knife onto Aaron, which at first I was like, okay, well, just kill him then. The show did a really weird job at alienating Aaron for doing the obvious thing in the apocalypse. Wouldn't you just kill someone who's lied to you twice and was already in the Whisperers and could be a potential danger to him and his family and everyone at Alexandria? Carol cries again, which I'm getting tired of, and says this isn't a road you want to go down. What road? He's not like you killing people that don't deserve it. He's not having his own tedious Morgan Jones storyline where he does kill, then he doesn't kill because all life is precious. He's killing someone that could be a threat, and a threat that lied. After 10 years of this show, you would have thought that they'd get the message that no half measures is quite a good saying. What Carol went through in pursuing Alpha is a bit different to Aaron, but I do like that in Carol having that experience and stopping Aaron from killing Keith, 10 minutes later Keith would then reveal information about the whereabouts of Connie. So what Carol went through and what pursuing Alpha got Connie into, she learned from that and stopped Aaron and got information about Connie back. So it's a full circle, and it basically teaches that in sparing someone you get something good out of it, but sometimes that's not so good, and the show's taught you that too. Keith and his friends could go back and kill Carol in her sleep now, but I get the message.
The hell are you doing?
What happened to Henry and how I felt after.
I'm growing tired of Carol's chirping. It's become such an unpleasant emotion right now. Obviously she's crying about Henry, but it's just become this thing where she cries about 3 different things every week. Is it Connie, Henry, your friendship with Daryl? I wouldn't say it annoys me, I'm just tired of it now.
God damn.
So just before Eugene fellatiates an ice cream, out of nowhere we see the actress that was revealed to be Stephanie. So this isn't really Stephanie, and Stephanie is actually some kind of assistant for Pamela, as the woman in the ice cream truck said it was Miss Milton's order. So unless Pamela has some kind of daughter in the show, Stephanie is working with Pamela Milton. And so the person that Eugene is talking to really could be a decoy. Which could mean they've made this person just the perfect painted picture for Eugene. I mean, think about what they must have heard this guy say, you know, talking about some Star Wars shit probably. So they would have made her a bit more nerdy, glasses, a bit quiet, is no stranger to World of Warcraft. And it would make Eugene comfortable enough to reveal stuff, his thoughts on the Commonwealth, what he was planning to do, as if he was with someone that he's known for years, like a close family member. So pretty much this whole idea of Stephanie could be an instrument to reach out to other communities and extend the Commonwealth's reach. I mean, after all, the whole idea of the Commonwealth is to almost rebuild the US. They want to be the next United States. Once getting through to someone, you'd want them to feel comfortable so that they would reveal complete and honest information to you. I mean, Stephanie liked everything that Eugene liked. I hope this isn't a situation where Stephanie really is just Pamela's assistant, and she's acted in a certain way almost to use Eugene to get stuff out of them and connect to another place, and then gave Eugene this girl as some test. I genuinely hope that whatever they really are planning, it's in Eugene's favour. I like it because when this not Stephanie walked past and came to collect the ice cream, Eugene was already looking around. He's almost already subconsciously noticed that this woman is of some importance to him. She definitely recognised him, and I think the way this would go is Eugene will find out, and he won't really even feel played knowing The Walking Dead. As long as some girl likes him, I think he'll be upset about the lying for about 5 minutes and then just be happy that he's got some kind of girlfriend. I don't even see this Velma version of Stephanie being punished for what happened, because what it felt like at the end is it was like some kind of setup anyway. She was just talking to Lance like she was quite high up. And the not Stephanie, yeah, seemed to recognise who this was, but it wasn't really in the way of, wow, I really like this man, he's finally here. It was more in, oh shit, he's noticing me. It doesn't seem like there was any connection there, it just seemed more like she was scared of getting caught. And if this was just a simple recasting of the actress playing another character, they wouldn't have had her be so awkward when Eugene asked a simple question. She didn't answer him, she just got all awkward and walked off. It was like she wasn't allowed to talk to Eugene. It wasn't just shrugged off either, Eugene was genuinely confused. Going back and watching Velma Stephanie, watching back literally any scene with her, every time we've seen her, it just feels really superficial now. Like she's putting on the perfect act for Eugene, being way too nice. What's clear is this Velma Stephanie has some kind of past or previous alliance with Lance, and as the other Stephanie did seem to be connected to Miss Milton, likely Pamela, it could be something within just this small group of characters, so very high up, but even Mercer didn't seem to catch on to it. This could be Pamela Milton's doing. As much as we have seen, I still don't think it did it much justice of how big the Commonwealth actually is. I'm putting it down to they've just got there, and we're going to see that bigger view of the whole place fully when Daryl, Maggie, the whole of Alexandria get to arriving here themselves. Because the small introduction that we did get, it gave it a really quite dim, no better than Woodbury look. But obviously a majority of the Commonwealth is yet to see. I just hope this episode wasn't saying this is what the Commonwealth is, be amazed by it, because I'm not amazed yet, because it looks like Woodbury. I did really like this scene, but I also found it funny when Negan does that thing where he goes, "Rrr." It reminds me of those videos you see online of like a girl shoplifting and the security guard has to hold her. I mean, all this does is prove that they're not going to kill each other because they've had such a physical altercation and wanted to do different things. You've got Maggie wanting to wait, and you've got Negan wanting to leave with the suppliers. At the end of this little squabble, Gabriel and Elijah walked in, so it proved that they should have waited, and that was the end of it. Overall, episode 5 was a good episode, and I enjoyed it. I could have done without a few of these kid scenes, but with the exception of a few kid characters, The Walking Dead has never been good at having scenes with kids that make you not want to jump out of a window. What did you think? Did you like it? You think it was bad, good? What do you think this fake Stephanie is all about? And what do you think is really happening with Aaron? Make sure you comment down below and let me know what you think. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you press the like button. It actually helps me out and will get this video seen by more people. And if you did, then check out my review for episode 4, where I talk more about the Reapers and their purpose. In that episode, there were some things hidden, some things you might have missed, that suggest something quite unexpected is going to happen. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start live streaming on this channel. I'm going to start with DayZ, and I really want you to be there, so just make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for all the latest. I'll see you in a bit.